Big Brother's a bit on the side. What a totes the most show tonight. Paul, my tissue. Letters from home. Never fails to tug at the old heartstrings. I tell you what, there just aren't enough tissues in the world. Probably because Stephen's wanked in all of them. I'm going to pull myself together, OK? We don't need dirty tissues. It's been a tough old night for the housemates, but maybe we can find some comfort in our lovely panel. My first guest is a former housemate who needs no introduction. Tom, whatever you do, don't dance. Because we can play the music, we just can't clear you to do the dance moves.
The budget didn't stretch,
The budget does not stretch. It is the wonderful Tom O'Connell. Now it's time to say hello to my next guest. She is a firm favourite here on a bit on the side, and she is definitely not a stupid woman. It's the very gorgeous Vicky Michelle. And finally, he is my third fought king of the jungle.
Oh, I'll give you your husband. Who's the second?
What? He's bandmate. I can't disclose
Oh, Dougie? Yeah! It's not even the same band unless they merge.
They've merged, Joe.
Yeah, but that won't last forever, will it?
For a while.
I'm a bit disappointed, then.
But
Yeah.
you're the only one that comes on this show, so I kind of love you more.
All right, then.
Joe Swash! So, tonight, we saw the housemates receive their last remote. Where have my tissues gone? Oh, my goodness. Get over it! It was quite emotional. Did you get teary watching them, Joe?
I don't know whether I'm just getting cynical in old age. But I look at it.
Because we've seen you all do it on The Jungle a million
Yeah, and I've done it
times.
myself. I've cried, I've been there.
Yeah.
And you can get wrapped up in the emotions and, you know, they do miss their friends and family from home. But I I can't get emotional with them. And Chris, he really... he makes me want to go, like, have a bath or something. There's something about him I don't like. And he was crying, he just spoilt it for me.
He cried quite a lot, didn't he? We're going to talk a little bit more about Chris later on. Winston, however, was the chap who had to decide who got their letters and who's got deleted. Vicky, how do you think he handled it?
I think he did brilliantly. Yeah. And I think he's obviously a very caring person. He's taken everything on board.
Yeah.
He really was brilliant at choosing whys, the wherefores. And I think he came up in everyone's esteem. But he's always been there. He's just a really lovely guy. He looked like a little puppy dog.
Yeah.
And everybody said, didn't they? They said, see, he's made that decision because he listens. He knows how we're all feeling.
He's inquisitive. He's always asking questions and learning all the time from there.
It'd be quite interesting to know, though, whether they're actually listening to him and if they've learned anything about him or if they're just kind of
I think they
making him
underestimate
listen.
him quite a lot.
Do you think so?
I don't think they would, because they'd underestimate him, but I think there's more to Winston than...
Yes, he's quite deep, I think.
The first couple they had to choose between was Mark and Helen. Tom, was Helen the right decision?
I think she was, especially given Mark's behaviour in the past few days. I don't think he's done anything to warrant, you know, a treat. And also...
Gone off the rails a bit, hasn't he, on Mark?
Yeah, a little bit. And I think, you know, Helen has got a child, so I think for her, she probably needed a bit of knowledge about everything's OK, you don't need to worry. And I think that sort of will see her through now till the end, and I think she'll probably be a nicer person, well, as nice as she can be, anyway. So...
What are you talking about, Tom? Now, at first, Mark seemed to take it all quite well, and then we had the mega meltdown. It was very dramatic, Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's very dramatic, isn't he, Mark? I think that's what he does it for dramatic purposes.
He could be in your trade.
He could be. And he does a brilliant accent, British accent as well, which I love.
Spot on, isn't it? His London is spot on.
It's amazing, honestly.
Very, very good.
It takes me straight back to Downton Abbey, but I find he's quite dramatic, but I feel like he self-edits himself. Like, he knows how it all works and he knows how it's going to look on TV, so he's always covering himself. Like, he votes for Chris, but then he'll go in the room and say, oh, I'll vote for someone I didn't want to. It's like, just in case it comes back on him. I think out of all of them, he's the most aware of himself. And
It is
how
a
he's coming
point that
across.
quite a few people are making on Twitter. You know, people are saying, everyone keeps banging on about Zoe and that she's been on a reality show. This is Mark's third.
Oh, see, I never knew that.
You know, he's done Shipwrecked. He applied for X Factor and now
Yeah.
he's in Big Brother. So he as well has been around this.
It's like this psychic thing that he does. Like, I don't know.
He's very good at it.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Very
So,
good.
I don't know whether he does that because he knows it's going to be funny. You know, he's tried and tested in the past, so I don't know. I'm just a bit wary of Mark, and when he gets drunk and the way he treats Christopher, I think it's a little bit. You see a side to him that's not very nice. Like everyone had to go at Stephen when he was doing it to Kimberly. Love me, love me, love me, love me. It's sort of like Christopher was sick the other night because he drank Tabasco sauce to make him happy. So,
I know, and soy sauce.
And he knows that,
and
Mark.
everything else they
Yeah,
can try and get down his neck, the poor thing. And they're like, bit of water,
Go on.
just to clear it out.
Wash it
just
down,
a little
wash it
bit.
down
Yeah,
with this.
just clear the pipes.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Pav as well. He's only been in there 2 weeks. In my opinion, I know lots of people say he's boring. Whatever. I think he's getting a pretty tough time in there.
Yeah.
And his letter, I thought was pretty epic.
Yeah.
I thought it was the one actually that started to get me quite teary.
Yeah.
The others I'd kind of got through, and then I got to his and Ashley's, and it kind of tipped me over the edge a little bit. Do you think it was fair, Vicky, that he got a letter so soon?
No, I think that he probably needed it most out of all of the ones that were in there because I think he's had the hardest time recently. And for no really apparent reason, I don't think. And he's obviously feeling that the other people don't like him and Chris is professing to like him and then stabbing him in the back all the time. And you can sense that. You must sense that when you're in there.
Yeah.
And I thought that the letter was really moving and he needed... And the way he reacted, the way he cried and everything, I think he really needed that. And I don't know why they had a go about, you know, what the content, because why are they all there?
Well, exactly.
It's not just him.
Yeah, and there were some really, lovely sentiments in it, but they all seem to just pick on that one little line that he said
and they misinterpreted it as well,
about what was the line? What was the line?
Keep your mind on the
do
game.
not lose sight of the end goal.
That's it, yeah.
So how did you lot feel about that line? Was it the £100 prize at the end of the show, or
they all know that there's a £100 pot at the end of it. One of them will win it. I think it was taking it a bit too seriously. Pav, when he went up for eviction, I thought he's a nailed-on cert to go, but I'm not so sure now.
why?
Well, because I think it's so close. They're showing Chris as Creepy Chris and stabbing him in the back. And I wouldn't be surprised. Zoe might have a chance to go in as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's overplaying the jazz hands.
Says the man that lives here more than lives at home. No, it was an emotional day for Pav. Should we see how he's getting on this morning? Poor old Pav, here we go.
I feel like I have doubted myself. I feel like I have lost confidence. There was a lot of truth in the letter, and that's probably why it was so emotional, because, you know, I haven't been keeping my head up high, and I have lost sight of that it is a game, and I have lost sight of my aims, and a lot of what the letter was saying was that I have sort of lost a lot of energy, and the process has got to me, but it's just reminding me that I have the amazing support structure and network behind me.
I'm sorry, I don't think he's going to have any chance of winning because I think he's away on Friday.
Honestly, I really think you should consider that might not happen. It might not be that plain sailing.
It's got to be. It just has to be that, doesn't it?
But they don't like that. They don't like predictability, do they?
What are we guessing?
Saying he's about thinking maybe Pav will go on Friday.
Oh, well, that'll be one of my shocks if he stays and you go.
He stays again.
I fall off my fucking chair.
I mean, give the kid a break. Now, Chris, he's been giving Pav a lot of advice, not in the friendliest way. Chris was also the guy to read Ashley's letter from home, which was from her boyfriend, Sean, who we've got on the phone right now. Sean, are you there?
Hey, Emma.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, Emma. How are you?
I am very good, thank you. Now, let's start with the letter from home and Ashley's reaction to your message. How do you feel about that? It was quite lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit hard for me to watch her cry, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not what I intended to do, but at the end she joked about and was back to herself. So I'd like to think now that's give her a wee bit of push just to kick on now and go to the final, hopefully.
Yeah, and she said at the end she was just pleased to hear she still had a boyfriend.
Exactly. Emma,
Which was
that's the bonus.
amazing.
I'm happy to hear that, yeah.
Now let's talk about her friendship with Chris. They've got very close now that Danielle is out of the picture. He seems very protective of her and is kind of warning Pav to kind of not look at her. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Beforehand, I actually did really like Chris. Well, I still do. It hasn't changed my view. I think it's more personal towards Pav on Chris's behalf more than over the fact of Ashley.
In what respect? How do you think his...
Well, I actually sympathise a great deal with Pav, but the whole house seems to turn against him.
Yeah.
And I think this is perhaps maybe just another factor as to why Chris can have a go at him, which I hope isn't. But that's what I picked up from it.
And how do you feel? Do you think he has a point when he said Pav needs to kind of stop staring and stop looking at Ashley, or is Chris overreacting? Do you think?
I think everyone thinks it's a bit of an overreaction. It is a bit over the top, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
I think it is a bit of an overreaction, Emma. Yeah. I personally wouldn't tell someone don't look.
So you haven't taken offence by anything? I mean, I don't think we've really seen anything to take offence from, have we?
At the end of the day, Emma, Ashley's a woman on her own. She's a woman for herself. No one owns her, so I don't think Chris was really entitled to do that. I appreciate the fact perhaps he's being protective, but there's a fine line in being overprotective, perhaps.
OK, well, one thing is for sure, Sean, and that is that she's in love with you. Sean, thank you for being on the phone tonight.
No problem, Emma. Thank you.
And now, just to kind of balance the whole thing, we've got Chris's friend Christian on the phone. Christian, are you there?
Hello, Emma. I'm here, yes.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yes, very good, thank you.
Good.
Did you hear Sean just chatting about Chris?
I did, yeah, I heard Sean. That was a lovely chap.
OK. Why is Chris being so protective over her, do you think?
That's Chris. That's his nature. All us pals, anyone that knows Chris in our sort of social circle, he's, as he said himself, he's quite the gent. That's, I think he probably sees it as being a bit dashing, a bit, protective of her. She's, young, and he just thinks he's sort of being helpful. I think it's been misinterpreted to some degree. There's 24 hours in a day, and I guess it's just a quick conversation. And obviously, seeing the conversation he had with Pav, he was, fairly open. It's very quick. I think it's just sort of probably, molehill turning into a mountain and all that.
So do you think he's... we saw Winston say when he was deciding who should get letters and who not, that Chris is like the dad of the group. Do you think he's being that kind of fatherly figure to her?
Yeah, I think that's sort of spot on. That's exactly what Chris is like. And I think, it might just be coming across incorrectly, but he's very much like that.
Do you think maybe he's got a soft spot for her in a different way?
I doubt it. I mean, I'm sure Ashley is naturally very attractive, but I don't think. I think he's well aware. He wouldn't do anything. She's got a boyfriend. He'd be very, very, very respectful of that.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I wouldn't bet my life on him. Making any kind of moves. I think he's. Probably think she's a lovely girl and she's very attractive, but I don't think he'd do anything.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying he would make a move. I'm just saying, do you think he thinks she's kind of cute? Because, let's be honest, she's pretty gorgeous.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. OK, Christian, thanks.
Pleasure.
Bye. Well, that was lovely, wasn't it? Just wonderful. Right, still to come, Judy James will be talking runts, role reversal and relationships in her body language breakdown. Plus, we are just moments away from a cheeky exclusive. See you on the other side. It's just incredible.
But what is it?
I think it's the glare from Ryland's teeth. Welcome back to Big Brother's Bit on the Side. Would you like an exclusive? Yeah! It is.
I'm confused.
What does it mean? It's so strange.
My nerves have gone to fucking shit. Now, listen.
Yeah.
Do you want to start speculating or play?
You may start.
I think it's obviously been to do with something about technology.
Yeah. Internet, obviously.
Internet, social communication.
Videos. I don't want outside interference.
Fans of the show.
If it's positive, great. If it's just outside interference, negative.
The public!
Could
the
be.
powerful public.
Oh, of course.
Fuck.
But they're not going to put positive things on there. They don't do that.
Fuck.
They're going to have sent in clips themselves saying shitty things.
How well they fucking can.
You've got to be able to take the rough with the smooth, Chris. Come on. OK, listen, we are nearing the end of the series and the house has gone through some almighty changes recently, and there is only one person that we can discuss all of this with, and it's our very own expert in the world of body language, the brilliant Dame Judy James. Changes in the house. One big change we've been seeing, and someone who is mellowing before our eyes, or seemingly so.
Yeah.
Oh, you do this, is Helen.
Everybody loves Helen at the moment because she's showing her kind of soft underbelly and being very vulnerable. But
so what is the transformation?
It's not. This woman has been a human taser in that house for weeks. She's been intimidating people to get where she is now. And now what she's doing, when you see her in the diary room, and do be really careful about this because she sits in the diary room, she's using it like a parole board meeting. I've changed, I'm a different woman, it's amazing, I'm not falling for it, actually, because, you know, if it had happened a few weeks ago, it might have been more valid. But the other thing is she still doesn't show empathy. It's all focused on her. I've changed, I'm a better person, but she's showing no regret at all for what she's done to other people. And, I mean, you've got somebody like Chris. A 33-year-old man was blubbing uncontrollably because she'd become nicer towards him. That's the effect that she's had on people.
That was quite an odd thing to come from Chris, wasn't it? Especially when you kind of look back to, you know, 4 weeks ago when he said, you know, about her kind of mood, setting the tone to the house and that kind of stuff, to now him kind of being so close to her.
But terrified. You know, I mean, he literally is. He was so relieved that she'd stopped behaving like that. The other thing, though, that we do need to watch out with her, you can change your personality, you can change your character, you can change your behaviour, but to get a profound change as she's selling to us at the moment, the behaviour that you've used in the past has to have perhaps not got a reward so that you've learnt that it didn't work. But when Helen was behaving so aggressively, it got massive rewards. She became the most powerful person in the house. She's got the best-looking guy in the house. She's got this circle of people that all love her, that approve of her. She controlled everybody. She even, you know, she's going to get to the final. So from that, she will have learnt that it works. So, which is why I don't get why she would change just because maybe she's been told off by Big Brother a couple of times.
What about Chris as well? We've seen a change in him recently, especially with regards to Pav. What is the problem, do you think, there?
Firstly, there's been a big role reversal in the house, and because Helen's taken her foot off the aggression pedal, it's quite interesting because the runts have started to pick on their own runts. It's as though she's not picking anybody, so they're doing it instead. And with Chris, he was the lowest runt of the lot. You know, in the hierarchy, he was right down the bottom. And he was getting picked on and he was scared of Helen. Suddenly, these two newbies came in and in an animal hierarchy, he would have moved up a level and they would have got picked on by Helen. But by then, Helen couldn't be bothered. So Pav didn't get picked on. And it's almost as though that's not fair. I've got to pick on you, otherwise I'm going to stay down the bottom level all the time. That's one reason.
If that's the case, it's quite a shame because, you know, think back to the beginning where Chris felt excluded and not welcomed by the group, and it would be a shame if it's kind of gone full circle and now he's doing that to somebody else.
But that is a syndrome. I mean, that can absolutely happen where people who have been picked on, they can go on to pick on other people. It used to get it in sort of private schools and things where, you know, somebody would get picked on and then the next lot would come in and then you become sort of the prefect and you... So it is a syndrome. It could easily be that.
Now, he's taken Ashley under his wing. We've just spoke to Sean about the whole thing with kind of Ashley, Pav and Chris. Let's take a look at a moment of him comforting Ashley.
I'm so excited to see him.
I bet you are. Anyway. Love you.
Thanks,
I'm
Chris.
so
Love you too.
fucking happy for you.
Me too. Yeah.
I could like just cry all night. I'm so pathetic. I never used to cry ever.
So what is that body language telling you? The body language expert.
That was, I mean, everything that he's saying to Pav is their old friend projection. You know, you're staring at her too much. Look at him there. He was just waiting. And not only that, he was kind of engineering. He was trying to get her to cry again. He's been doing that a lot. Oh, you've got a letter from your boyfriend. It's like he's waiting to get in to get the hug. And he mimicked the hug, which I think I heard you say, it just went on a little bit too long for comfort. She wasn't even upset at that point either. And if you see her body language, she kind of sits like that, waiting for the next onslaught. So it's badly timed. It's extremely unfair after the way that he's accusing Pav of being the one that's lurking around her. And she absolutely doesn't want it. I think he was mimicking what Helen did. Helen got a kiss on the forehead with Ashley, and obviously thought he could do one as well. It just doesn't look right, I don't think.
Are we looking too much into it? His friend said on the phone earlier on that, you know, he's just a nice guy who wants to make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
Are we being slightly...
I think that's the guy's
Big
got
Brother-y and going, oh, what's going on there? When actually there might be nothing going on there.
No, I wouldn't have actually minded if he hadn't have accused Pav, but to do it, it's a bit hypocritical to do it. And he also did another shot where he was laying on the bed soon after, and he was looking so adoringly up at her, and he went, oh, touch my hand, you know. I think he's besotted. I don't know whether it's sexual or not, but I think he's clearly besotted, and he just doesn't want anybody else getting anywhere near her.
OK, let's move on to Mark, because you have seen a change in him as well.
He comes with a mooing noise.
Yeah, from the audience.
And quite rightly, I think, as well, because he's another one that is now picking on Christopher, and I don't like his behaviour. I mean, Christopher again...
Is it a case of pulling the pigtails of the ones you love, or is it slightly more deep-rooted?
Well, it has to be more deep-rooted, because he must also be aware that, in a way, they're both competing to win the whole thing, but he keeps demeaning Christopher. And I thought that ice statue thing was really, really school kid picking on.
Joe touched on that
to make him physically sick twice. And I know you could say that he's a wimp for doing it, but, you know, Mark was going, oh, I'll really admire you if you do this. And that's the worst kind of picking on somebody. So I don't like the way he's treating him. Christopher can stand up for himself. He's not a wimp. He can be... If you listen to his dialogues, he's being very assertive. He's dealing with Mark really well, like a naughty toddler, but he's being very adult. But it's hard to deal with him because Mark's kind of trying to draw him into this bizarre double act where he has to play the straight man to all this psychic rubbish and everything. And I just feel... I mean, it is rubbish. I feel sorry. No, it is.
They are an unlikely match, aren't they? Do you think it's a genuine match? And if so, who wears the trousers?
It is genuine. I mean, there's moments when you can see, particularly from Christopher, that he is besotted with him. And I think Mark a little bit as well. Mark would like to think that he wears the trousers, but that last scene tonight when
it was
Christopher
brilliant,
just got
wasn't
out
it?
of bed, you know, yes, and he just laid there grinning.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he was grinning because he's in love, but I like to think he was grinning because he'd got one over on Mark.
Yeah, he's finally got... Normally it's, you know, come on, you can leave my bed now. Christopher's just like, I'm going to bed now, good night, walked out, and that just little, like...
Yeah.
Got one back.
I mean, it's hard because Mark is playing the child in there, and it's very easy to say that you should stand up to the child, but if you stand up to a free child, you get a rebellious child that goes off into those stupid tantrums and things like that, and Christopher just doesn't want that kind of an argument, so I do feel sorry for him. I think he's playing it really well.
Brilliant. Judy, thank you so much. Judy James, everyone. Right, stay tuned because we have a nightmare/dream come true just for you. Lauren Harries meets Bianca. TV history is about to be made. But first, eviction number 10 is looming, so it's time to get your vote on. Here are the numbers you need. This week, Chris, Pav and Zoe face the public vote. Who goes? You decide. To evict Chris from a landline, call 090 2044 5803 or from a mobile 650 5803. To evict Pav from a landline, call 090 2044 5818 or from a mobile, call 650 5818. To evict Zoe from a landline, call 090 2044 5819 or from a mobile 650 5819. Mobile and BT landline votes cost 50 pence. Other landlines may vary. Or you can vote via the Big Brother app, where 2 votes will cost you 99 pence. Voting closes in Friday's eviction show. Votes cast after the lines close won't count. You can find terms on the Big Brother website. Big Brother's Bit on the Side. Now, I need to just do a shout out to Winston's dad, Jonathan. Bianca has got your number, and I'm sure she's going to be in touch to make it 301. Oi, oi! Boom. Here's another exclusive.
You have been gunning for me all day. I've been nothing but nice. So I've given you a new top today. I gave you the cake yesterday. And all I've got in return's fucking chic. I even complimented your fucking makeup, and I don't like lads in slap.
I know. You've been so nice to me, hasn't
I've been lovely to you.
I know, I've been nothing but vile. I'll make it up to you, Marcus.
Will ya?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not closed to the idea. I'm open to it, but I'd kind of like to see how it is one-on-one. It mightn't work. It might be something which is fine when we're in Big Brother, but outside of here, we mightn't really like each other that much. It's really weird kind of liking someone in here, because in the real world, if you like somebody, you describe that person to your friends, whereas in here, it's like, number one, you don't want to be too touchy-feely or emotional on camera, and then number two, everyone has their own little friendship group, so Mark could go off to like Ash or Helen and like talk about me and like ask about that kind of stuff, and obviously they all know me, so they have an opinion on me. There's too many voices, there's too many people.
Talking quite sensibly, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is good. Now, in the Big Brother house, 9 weeks seems like a lifetime, doesn't it, Tom?
Yep.
Yep. Which is plenty of time to go on a journey. Yeah, I have dropped the J-bomb and I'm going to use it. But who has travelled the furthest, and has anybody got lost along the way? Let's talk about each of our housemates. So, first of all, Vicky, do you like a journey?
Whoa, ring-a-ding-ding.
Or would you rather they just go in there and just do whatever?
I like the fact they go there and do whatever, but it is lovely to watch someone that is on a journey and that they've learned.
Believe me, after 10 minutes of chat, it's going to get really boring.
Yeah, I think, and I think probably for me, I think probably Helen has been on the biggest journey, because she ring-a-dingy. I think that she started off like sort of very strong and very dominant, and now she's sort of, you've seen the softer side of her, and I think that's and she is. I think she's very guarded person.
Yeah.
And I think she's let her guard down now, and she's showing
as
her
we heard her
vulnerable
friends say tonight.
Yeah, and I think she is, and she's beautiful. And I don't think she thinks she's beautiful. To me, I think she's absolutely beautiful. But she doesn't act as if she is, you know, which is.
Well,
it's a nice
maybe, as she
quality.
said, maybe she's realised the changes, and maybe she will hopefully carry that on in the outside world. Tom, do you think you have to go on a journey to last in Big Brother?
I think you have to show different aspects of your personality. I think you have to be quite a multifaceted person, and I think that's why Ashley's winning people over, because originally we thought she's quite... thank you.
That man is so happy!
He's like Chris, isn't he?
Yeah, I think at the start, nobody expected her to be a favourite. She was quite quiet. She stuck to herself.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the beginning, it was like how everybody was with Pav at the beginning.
Yeah.
She's boring. She doesn't do anything. Now look at her. You know, everyone is like, go on, Ashley.
And she's done it, I think, as well. She's sort of stuck up to the right people with a certain amount of class and poise, which we haven't really got in that house, have we? So I think she's gone on a nice journey.
Tom wanted a little thing. How about you, Joe? Are you surprised at how much Ashley's evolved?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like this gentleman here. I think that Danielle was like a rain...
What, a bit creepy with her?
No,
you
not...
No. You just said he was like Chris, a bit of a creepy one, and you've said I'm a bit like that bloke.
I agree with Danielle. I think Danielle was like a dark cloud over her head. You know, it brought her down a little bit. I think Danielle was a bit confused who she was anyway. So
you don't say.
It confused Ashley. And now, you know, you've seen the chart, seen her kind of integrate into the group a little bit. She stood up for herself. You know, she's 18, but she's more adult than a lot of them in there, you know.
Old head on young shoulders.
Yeah.
Old head on young shoulders. OK, let's look at Ash's journey next. So over the last few weeks, he has managed to turn that crowd reaction from boos into cheers. We very rarely see it. How do you think he's done that, Vicky?
Sorry?
How has he changed the public perception of him? He was booed initially, now
Ash.
it's cheers, yeah. What's changed in his journey?
I think that, I mean, Ash is not really, to me, a big personality. He's quite quiet. He doesn't say much. I don't like the way that he doesn't commit himself to Helen. He's very guarded, Ash. But he's sort of a guy, he's very cool. I think
He might
he's
be
cool.
guarded, though, because of... I think he knows his mum doesn't approve at the moment.
Yeah, and I think...
And he seems to be quite a mummy's boy.
Yeah, and I think that's shown in the letters and things like that. He's very guarded about how he is perceived.
Yeah.
And, but I think now that the public are realising that, you know, they're realising that he's doing that and that there's something behind that. But I like Ash, but, I mean, I'm not wild about him.
You're not hot on Ash?
He is. No.
Are you hot?
No, but he's good eye candy.
He's quite handsome.
Yes, he's very
let's move on to Chris.
Oh, God, can't we start here, please?
He was kind of, you know, as we talked about earlier on, he was the outsider, really, at the beginning. And then now he's kind of he's integrated in the group. Ash loves him, Helen loves him, he's found his voice. I've got to ask these first.
Go on then.
Which Chris do you prefer?
I like him when he's got an opinion and he's actually been more of a friend and been sort of tells him what he's thinking.
He hasn't been. He hasn't been a friend to anybody. He's playing his own game. He openly admitted that he didn't know who he was. Maybe he's gone in there to find himself on a journey. But it's just, what game's he playing now? Him and Mark are like Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. It's just crazy.
Joe? Go on, have your little say.
Right, what he's done is he's basically done a Jarley, right? Jarley went in there and everyone dug her out. Helen gave her a hard time and poor Jarley, and then suddenly Jarley buddied up with him and she become one of the hit crew. And I think that's what Chris has done to Pav, where, you know, he's done a Jarley on her. He's kind of now becoming one of them. And I could put up with his weird mannerisms and his creepiness last week. But this week, I don't want to say it, and I feel terrible, but you wouldn't want to wake up next to him. He's got killer eyes.
You're being like the meanie.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not being mean.
Picking on the rump.
No, because he's done it to himself. Listen, he's done it to himself. He's tried so hard to be one of the hit crowd that now he's in there, he's behaving like him. He's not really in there.
So you think he's lost sight of who he is?
He's done what Jarley done. He's lost sight of who he was, and he should be sticking up for Pav.
Okay, we've got to talk about all of them, and you're taking up all the time.
I didn't even say journey.
No, hey! Christopher's next. He was a bit of an outsider as well in the early days. They dubbed him the Wasp, which was not very nice at all. Tom, have they underestimated this one?
Perhaps. I think he's still buzzing on the outskirts of, like, the social circle within there. But that little smirk we've seen at the end of tonight shows that he's got the power, and he hit Mark where it hurt, and that's the genitals. So, you know...
Well, listen, because Joe likes to talk so much about Chris, I think he fancies him. We've only just got a little bit of time to talk about our newbies, Pav and Zoe. It kind of feels strange talking about their journey, because they've only been in there for a couple of weeks. Have we seen any journey, stop it now, like behaviour, do you think, from either of these two?
I think Pav's going to do a lot of growing up in there. He's taken a lot of stuff on board. He's being not attacked, but things being said about him left, right, and centre. So he's going to come out of it a lot stronger and with a thicker skin, you know.
Well, they've judged on the VT, haven't they? Yeah. Which they did with Jarley, and they got it wrong, and they've done it again, and they're going to come out and realise they were wrong again, I think.
And I think Mark see that VT was the worst person. Because he blew it up, he made him sound like a Bond villain, you know, when really...
Pav said Mark over-exaggerated.
Yeah, because Pav didn't say nothing in his VT that all of them haven't said. They all say how great they are and they big themselves up. And half of the time, they never do it. You know, and Pav's one of them. He's not going to do it, but he said it.
Can we have a section called Joe's Corner, and then we can just let him have a little rant at the end of the show?
I ain't been on here for ages.
And he
He's been
won't
building
take
up.
up everybody else's time.
Sorry, guys.
I'd like to thank you all, but I really have to thank Joe because at the end of the show. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Now, you may remember Bianca. How could we forget her? She stripped off, she bathed in sewage, and she offered Winston a little romp in the rubble. Some might say that that's not very ladylike. I think it really is not. Luckily, Lauren Harries found some time in her busy schedule to school Bianca in the ways of decorum.
So, I got kicked out of Big Brother, and I didn't even get to ride Winston's cock. What a bloody shame. Maybe I need to be a bit more ladylike. Maybe I need to go and ask Lauren Harris for some advice on how to be a lady. Good idea, me. Lauren?
Oh, Bianca, come in. I've been meaning to talk to you.
Glad to see you actually enclosed.
So, Lauren, I think I might have got kicked out because I think I need to be a little bit more ladylike.
Oh, don't worry, Bianca. I've got my handy guide. I call it Lauren Harry's Guide to Being a Proper Lady. A lady should dress more demurely. So, should we have a look and see?
Yeah.
Step 1, fashion. And let's see what you look like with something more sensible on, shall we? You know, it's not also how you dress, it's how you walk, it's how you talk, it's how you act. You can look sexy in that if you think sexy.
Yeah.
It's in here. Step 2, elocution and pronunciation. So you look like a lady, now we want you to speak like one, okay?
Yeah.
So let's say the rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain.
Very good. Very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. You deserve a little diamond for
Ah,
that. There you go.
thanks.
Now, Winston's Willie is wonderfully willing.
Winston's Willie is wonderful willing.
No. Winston's Willie is wonderfully willing.
Winston's Willie is wonderfully willing.
Winston's Willie is wonderfully willing. Now, you want this to happen, so just say it properly.
Winston's
Willie is wonderfully willing.
Wonderful willing.
No. Step 3. A lady never, ever asks. I know that you said you wanted to ride Winston's cock, okay? Ladies don't do that, right? It's just not done.
That was a bit banter, though.
No, it wasn't banter.
Well, I mean, I did want to ride his
Banter.
cock, but you know, at that
Yeah,
time
I know,
it was a bit banter.
but you're not going to see him tomorrow if you ride his cock today, are you? Hey, if I wanted to get Winston,
Yeah.
I could get him like that, but I would do it like this.
Do you think I look a bit like an airhead, though, if I do that?
Who gives a crap? Now you try it.
What, try what you just did?
Yeah. No, not like that. Listen, you've got hair, bloody show that bloody hair. Why do you think you've got it on your head in the first place? You're going to be sexy and you're going to slowly get him. So you're going to slowly use your body and move your sweet ass. Now listen,
That
okay?
seems so much effort, babe. I just
No,
rather just
listen,
stand saying,
yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
bang you
because you
tonight.
like to give him a few shots, see how he feels, and say, shall we go into bed because I'm going to strip? And that isn't the way to do it. Step 4, who wants the cake? Men love food, okay?
Yeah.
So I've got a cake over here now, and I'm going to say, who wants the cake? Now you try it. Take it seriously.
Okay, yeah.
Think of Winston.
Okay.
Think of him eating that cake. Okay, so say it.
Who wants the cake?
Not bad, Bianca.
So, do I get my tits out before or after the cake?
Stop it! Jesus in heaven, you don't know anything.
Welcome back a bit on the side.
Letter from home.
Oh! I got a letter from home. Who's got the tissues? No! Matt hasn't paid the gas bill. Here's the news. Who's doing on their own in the corner, loner? For part of this week's shopping task, housemates competed to get the most likes on their very own viral video. At 12:03 this afternoon, Winston channeled his inner rock god.
Ooh, my name is Winston. I'm in the Big Brother house playing the guitar. You gotta give it a shout out, cause I'm gonna rock this shit out. Gonna fucking rock this shit out. I'm gonna fucking rock this shit out. Woo! Yeah! Fucking like this video! Fucking like this video! Woo! Yeah! Woo!
Somebody needs to get laid. I think. Too much aggression. At 12:43 this afternoon, the task continued. And here's what Chris, Zoe, Helen, Christopher and Ash had to offer.
Hello, my name's Chris, and I'm going to spend the next 20 seconds teaching you everything I know about football. Hot sauce and chocolate cake, here I go.
I'll say yours. I'll say yours.
1, 2, 3, 4. I can't push anymore.
Yes, man.
I'm giving birth to big brother, baby.
I think Ash offered a little bit too much there. TMF, Ash, too much flesh. Although some of the ladies in the audience quite liked it. At 1:38 this afternoon, Ash was chatting a load of bollocks in the garden.
I didn't understand it. Just like me dick and balls rang out everywhere. I was like, I don't understand what's going on with this. I'm like, you've just got to like pull it round a bit more. It just doesn't cover anything though. So I put a sock on, and then I put like a bit of thing down like the front as well. It just
Did you have
looked
your own
like...
sock like?
Yeah, I just had an ankle sock.
Oh,
I had to like just put it over my knob, and then all my balls would hang out. Nightmare. Could you see stuff? Like
No,
when I was
not
like,
really.
you could see like.
You
in
went
your
to
brain.
the side and you like cocked your leg up. You could see.
What could you see?
You couldn't really see
Just a bit
much.
of hairy skin.
Just the sock. Just a bit of, yeah, it was living
Yeah.
the sock. But it looked like you were going to fall out at one point.
Did it? But the sock just looked like I had loads of pubes, didn't it?
No, it wasn't. Look, baby, look, I think I get loads of hits because, to be fair, it looked like you were canny packing as well. So girls are like that.
Yeah.
Aye. Kind of little dance, tambourine.
I might get the gay vote off that.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Was he canny packing? No. It's a sock. Hey, I pad my bras, he can pad his pants. That was today's news. I don't really pad my bra. I don't really pad it. Matt would know it was all a lie. What's happening in Ditch?
Well-
James is here tonight. James, everybody.
Yeah, well,
James's mum's in the audience as well.
Hi, Mum. Well, as we've just been seeing, there's been quite a lot going on in the house to do
Yes.
with today's shopping task, Housemates versus the Internet. If you feel the need that you need to see more, then get yourself on the Big Brother website
Yeah.
and you can see extended highlights of everything.
OK.
Also, in honour of today's letters from home, we thought it would be a good idea to let the viewers write their own letters to the housemates via our Twitter, and these guys have got some of those letters now.
OK, tell me.
Right, I've got one here. Do you want to go for ladies first?
Oh, thank you, darling. Dear Mark, you are doing an amazing. You're doing amazing. You're going to win. BTW, you and Christopher are the cutest. Lots of love, Katie Hildred.
Joe?
Right, I've got Dear Winston, you've got as much swagger as earwax. Stop acting like a jock. Love Mark. Don't think he's a fan.
Okay.
No, don't think
Well, do you know what? I'm going to stop us right there because Joe will talk all night otherwise. That is it for this evening. We'll be back tomorrow with Chrissy Rock, Tinhead Philip Olivier, Josie Gibson, and for the very first time this series, Dr. Dance!